Welcome to JustWannaQuilt, a research podcast coming out of Tulane University Law School, where we explore all kinds of things, stories about quilting, tools, field trips, maybe some famous quilters stop by, and, of course, a little bit of copyright thrown in just for fun. This is Elizabeth Townsend Guard, your host, and I'm a law professor at Tulane University Law School and a faculty fellow at the A.B. Friedman School of Business at Tulane. And I just want to quilt. So today we talk to Rachel Bishop. She's been on the show before. She is about to open her grand opening of a new shop called What's Your Stitch? And so she's here to talk to us about the process and her experiences of opening a new shop.
Rachel Bishop, and I am in Long Beach, Mississippi.
Awesome. And Rachel, we talked to you a while ago, but now we're back because what's happening in your life?
I am opening a quilt shop in less than a week.
Oh my gosh. So take us back. When did you get the idea? That's the first part. When did you get the idea to open a quilt shop?
The idea had been in my head since the very first class I took.
Really?
I fell in love with it immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I think this is something eventually I want to do, because I worked as a paralegal and I was like, this isn't what I want to do forever. And I'd always said, I'm giving myself till 40 to figure it out. And I figured it out, but I was like, well, financially, is it right? Whatever. And then things just kind of, at the beginning of the year, things just kind of fell in place that it was the right time and the right place. And
so you all were in New Orleans, but you moved. So you moved to Mississippi. Why did you do that to open a quilt shop?
Well, a couple reasons. One, my husband is a lawyer and he works, he's licensed in Mississippi. And so he had been working in the New Orleans office, but coming to Gulfport at least one day a week. And then in the last couple of years, it had gotten to be where he was here 3 days a week. And it's like, does he continue doing so much commuting, or do we make the move?
Yeah. Do you find that so when you were thinking about a quilt shop, was there already a quilt shop there? And sort of how did you assess whether a quilt shop would be viable in the area that you were going to go into?
No, there was not. I pulled the GSQA, which is the Gulf South Quilt Association ladies, and some of the guilds in the area, and saw what their interests may be, and everybody seemed to be excited about it, so I decided just to go for it.
What's
the worst that can happen,
That's so great. All right, so how did you choose your location, and what's the name of the shop? What's Your Stitch? Nice.
So the location is, it's a house. I'm in the kitchen. The kitchen is my office. And so it's a house, and it's actually my husband's boss owns the building, and he had been putting it up on Facebook, for rent. And I saw it and I was like, that's my quilt shop. I loved the walls and the hardwood floors and the setup of it. And so I told him, I was like, take it down. It's mine. And he thought I was joking. And he was like, ha ha, Rachel. And I was like, no, I'm serious. And so he's like, okay, come over and let's walk through it. And so him and his wife and Scott and my husband came over and we walked through, and I was like, yeah, this is it. And, he's like, if this isn't the right place for you, it's okay. We can look for something else. And I was like, no, this is it. And he was like, okay.
So you're renting it from them?
Yes.
And the idea to rent it was so that you could really try it out, or that it wasn't?
It was definitely that. And they were very generous about the rental. They, they only made me sign a year lease.
That's nice.
So that way, if, for some reason things aren't right or whatever, I have that, cushion built in, that I didn't have to be locked into a long-term lease.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yes.
And you had the lease for a while, so you're not even a year of sewing. I mean, not a year open, because you guys had the lease for a while now, right?
Yes, I've had it since mid-March.
Right. So that's not a huge risk. I mean, that part of it is not a huge risk. A whole bunch of other stuff you had to do. But if you were just like you were just like, yeah, I'm done, I'm not doing this. You're not in it. You're in for like 6 months, right, of the shop. So that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Now, the big question is the inventory. Like, how did you I mean, this is an empty – I mean, we once rented a house in – we were really dumb. Once we rented a house in Seattle, and we were really excited, and then we realized – and we had everything in storage in Tucson – that we were like – we had this big empty house, and we were only going to be there for a year, and it was so overwhelming. So what did you have the space. What do you do next?
So I was like, well, obviously I need shelves and lots of them. So what I have found is probably anybody that has built a house or built an addition or done renovations to their house is contractors are hard and construction. So I went through several people before finding the right person to build my shelves that would do it in the time frame and all of those things. And so I found a guy to build shelves, and then another guy actually built my cutting table and my desk. We have a little local boutique that's right down the street from me, and he had built all of the build out stuff in her shop, and I really liked his work.
That's really cool.
So I knew
So it's all custom, all the shelving and the cutting board and everything was custom.
Yes.
And did you have a vision in your mind of what you wanted things where? That seems hard too.
I did. And once I walked, when I walked through the shop, I was like, I know I want this room as a cutting room. And I was like, I know I want, this as this. And I have a classroom space. So I was like, I know I want this as that.
That's really nice.
How big is the house? How big is the house? I would say it's 1,600 square feet.
That's cool. That's very cool. Okay. So you've got the shelves built. Mm-hmm. Now what? Now they're empty.
Well, so it was funny because actually before the shelves were here, I had inventory already. So luckily, Denise at Mes Amis in New Orleans.
Yes, she's amazing.
Yes, she has been like my little fairy godmother. And every rep that she deals with, when I first, I went to her, and so for the beginning stages, I would go when she was meeting with a rep and watch her do her buying process. And she introduced me to several very, bigger, the bigger reps like JaffTech, the Amy who works for JaffTech.
Great. Yeah, Amy's great. She's been on the show.
And then Mike, who does QT Fabrics. And, but every rep that comes through her store, she's like, gives them my card, and she's like, call Rachel. She's opening a fabric store in Long Beach, and you need to meet her. So that was a big help. They just came to me because of Denise.
Right. So how do you buy everything you need for a quilt shop? And how do you know what to buy? Because you don't know what people are going to buy, that seems stressful to me.
It is. And as I've been putting fabric on the shelves finally, because, you have to buy a POS, point of sale system, and decide how you're going to do your inventory.
What POS system did you decide to go with?
It's called Possum.
Okay.
And they have one of their little specialties is craft type stores.
Cool. That's great.
So you can do kit building through it, and you can do quarter, it understands yardage and all those things. And as I'm cutting fat quarters, you can transfer, it understands that I'm transferring 4 fat quarters from this bolt of fabric.
Interesting.
And so it knows that there's, I have 15 yards of this fabric, but 4 of them are in fat quarters and the rest are in yardage.
Really cool.
Yeah, so it's very intuitive and all that, and I just decided that it was kind of the best system for what I wanted to do. So then, so I entered all this inventory, and I was still waiting on shelves, so I had just stacks of fabric, just stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of fabric. But then in the buying process, okay, so I like blue. So I was like consciously aware to try not to buy all blue fabric.
Right.
Because I was like, well, not everybody likes blue, you know, you need multitudes of colors. And so as I've been putting fabrics on the shelves, I was like, I didn't buy enough purple. You know, it was like, how did I not buy purple?
Right.
And then really you forget what you buy. Because, you know, I bought over a period of like 6 months, and fabric, you know, doesn't, it, you know, some of it was available then, some of it didn't ship till September, some shipping in October, some's not coming till November.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Then I'll get some, you know, in January, February. Like, you buy it so far out.
Yeah.
And so then you open
How did you keep track of what you were buying? Did you have like a database, or you just hope for the best in your head?
I hoped for the best. My head, I mean, I have a pretty decent memory.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just relied on that.
Interesting. Now, what did, you know, so each quilt shop that I've been in often has, some quilt shops have a theme or focus. Did you do that with yours? Do you?
It's definitely very traditional in some, you know, but I have added a few things that are a little less traditional. And so we'll see. And like I said, I'm going to start there and then kind of let, you know, my customers and what they ask for.
Yeah.
You know, dictate my buying from here on out. So
cool.
I wanted to have a little bit of a mix, but it's not super, like, it's mostly traditional, but I do have it's not like wild, modern, you know.
Did you go with a particular distributor to get stuff, or like all the notions and things like that? Or did you go, like, how did you get all that stuff, the rulers and all that stuff?
Yeah, most of that. So Checker is one of the distributors for notions.
Yeah.
And I bought most of it through Checker, or Moda has a notion side to it. And so I bought mostly from both of them. And, you know, sometimes they have things that are the same and sometimes they have things that are different.
Yeah.
So you just kind of, you know, I had to compare prices versus sometimes, you know, quantities, you know, some they want you to buy 3 and some you can buy 1, you know, depending on the site, how many you have to buy.
And so to do that, let's go back. So are you an LLC? Did you form an LLC?
Yes.
You did. In Mississippi?
Yes.
In Mississippi. That wasn't very hard, right? So that part's pretty easy, right? You have to get an EIN number. You got your federal number.
I did it myself.
You did it yourself, and it's not terrible. And then did you have to get a business license because you're selling to the public?
I do. I have a business license.
And did that allow you to get wholesale prices at, oh, hold on, there's a kitten that's stuck on the computer. So, and then you got the business license, and that allowed you to get wholesale costs from different places. Right?
Yes, because then that sets you up with the state, you know, for your wholesale, you know, tax, you know, ID or whatever, you know, resale license, you know, your resale number.
And then were there minimums at these sites? You were buying so much it didn't matter, but did you, you know?
Yeah. And so the way a lot of it works, there are minimums to an extent, like especially if you don't want to pay shipping, which could get very expensive because fabric's very heavy. So
if you have a minimum, they'll pay for the shipping? Is that what you're saying? Interesting. Okay, continue.
So a lot of them, it's like as long as every month, like, so it's like October, this fabric shipping in October, I needed to have a minimum of 5 bolts to ship from, you know, this distributor.
Got it.
You know,
and it could be like different. It didn't have to be the same bolt. Each one's different. You just had to have a minimum of it. It's interesting. Now, will you carry, I'm going to ask you specific things. Will you carry Tula Pink?
So I have some Tula Pink coming. It's not her new collection. I'm kind of feeling it out.
To see how much people like it, how much it goes.
Yes. That. So I was able to buy, it was like a 50-yard bundle. And it's just kind of random. It's not like, it was just like, you get what you get kind of thing. Yeah. And so I bought 2 of those. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
So I will have that. And it's all like current in-print collections.
Interesting.
And then Victoria Finley Wolf.
Yes.
Who I love.
She's amazing. She's been on the show.
I've taken a class with her in New York at her loft.
So cool.
And she's amazing. So I bought her newest collection. I have her whole collection. So again, that's not a very traditional, that's leaning a little more towards the modern. So I'm waiting for it to come in. French General, I just got the brand new French General. It's a red, pink and cream collection. I have most of it. And then on the traditional side, like Joe Morton, she had a new collection that just came out. I have most of it. I have, and then the traditional Kansas Troubles, that's another one. That's another big one. So yeah, like I have a lot of that. And then I have blenders, solids, and I also have like the homespun woven fabrics.
Very cool.
Because I love the feel of those and I love the way quilts come out, and some flannels. Okay.
So you got the fabric, you got the notions, you got the shelves, you got the space. Did you feel like you had to save for a long time to be able to, there's a lot of expense up front. So did that freak you out, or did you,
So, we had done very well on the sale of our first house.
Oh, nice. In New Orleans.
Yes.
So that's great. That's a great way to, so that's great, right? So New Orleans prices went up in a huge way. So I imagine that, and then Mississippi prices aren't as high, I would imagine.
Yes.
And so you had a differential, and then you invested it in the shop.
Correct.
That's a great way. We so have to sell our house. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Ron would be like, no. I can't even imagine. Anyway.
But we were smart. We were very smart with our first house buying experience. And, we were younger. My husband and I have been married a long time. We've been married almost 12 years. 12 years, 11 years. I forget now. But 12 years. But when we bought a house, we bought way under what we could afford. And so because we still wanted to be able to do things and to travel and do all of that. And so because of that, and we found a house in a neighborhood that would definitely appreciate. Yeah. And it happened. That's what happened. And
that's so cool. I love it. Yeah. It's like found money in some way, right? Like you didn't.
It kind of is. That's what I was like. I told my husband, I said, but what happens if I fail? And I'm like, I've lost all this money. And he's like, but Rachel, he's like, yeah, but at the same time, it's different because
it's like extra. I don't know.
Right. It wasn't like, we didn't go into debt to open,
Right. Now, how much I imagine you have to plan for needing to buy more stuff. So you need enough to open so it looks like a full shop, but also be able to get new stuff when people.
Correct.
Right, to make it sort of exciting.
Yes. And that's what, I think that it helps that the collections do come out, like staggered. Yeah. So I will be, I've ordered stuff that'll be coming in January, February, March.
So exciting. Now, I suspect you're not going to market this year because you just opened. Is that right?
Correct.
And you already did you did your big buying. You went to market. You did it. You connected with people. So you don't really need to go this year.
Yeah, this year it's just really it wouldn't be a good time.
Because you just opened. That would be crazy. Now, do you have is it just you, or do you have somebody that's helping you? Like, are you the only do you have to be there all the time no matter what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's me. Now on Saturdays, my husband will help.
Yeah. That's sweet.
We're going to teach him to
cut stuff.
And this week, my mom's been a huge help getting things ready and everything. So nice. And one of the things, so pretty much every bolt of fabric has fat quarters cut for it.
That's nice.
So I have a huge selection of fat quarters, but the thing is, those have to be folded.
Yes.
So I've been, cutting them during the day and then sitting at night folding fat quarters. Well, I gotten a couple of quilts back from the Long Armor that I need that I'm kitting, have for when the shop opens. So I told my mom, I said, okay, well, and my mom's not a sewer. I said, so you can either A, learn how to sew by hand, or B, you can learn how to fold fat quarters.
She did the fat quarter.
Yes.
That's great. Now, did you get stickers, and you did the trademark, and all the branding had to happen too, right?
Yes.
Was that fun?
Yes.
That's like the fun part.
No, that's your fun part.
Figuring out the name, getting the trademark, getting the stickers,
Yes.
I saw you when you put the sign up in front. That was so cool.
It kind of made it real at that point,
Yeah.
because up until then, nobody knew I was like, hanging out in this building.
Right.
So since the signs gone up, there's like, just random people will kind of walk in and be like, hey, what's going on in here?
That's nice. Now, will you have classes there?
Yes, but not till after the first of the year. I need to get settled.
Yeah. And you'll have, will you have other people? I have some suggestions of people in Mississippi that you might want to connect to, so we can talk.
Yeah. So, and there's a lady that lives down the street who's an amazing art quilter, and
cool.
I think she'll probably want to teach some stuff, and which is not my genre.
Yeah. Do you think you'll have
good.
Clubs like applicant cake clubs and other things like that?
I definitely would like that, and I'm going to see what the community wants, because I really want and I think I've said this before, I want it to be a place where people feel like they can come and hang out.
Yeah. So do you have places for people to sit?
Yes. So
because that's a thing, right? Because you really need a comfortable, warm, welcoming sitting area.
Well, so there's 2 amazing rocking chairs on the front porch.
I love it. I went to come.
That was a gift from my mom and dad.
Nice.
And my dad painted them white, because they were just cedar, and so Daddy painted them for me.
Nice.
And they brought them up this weekend. And so they have 2 amazing chairs on the front porch. And then I have 6 chairs for the classroom space.
Nice.
As of now. So that, obviously when the classroom's not being used,
right. You can kind of hang out there and sit.
Yes, can be a hangout space. Nice. And you can sit. And then also places where if people want to, have a, applique day, or, this day, or just a sewing day.
Now, am I right? You had a preview for Friends and Family this last weekend?
I did.
How was that?
It was amazing. We had a lot of fun. The air conditioner leaked, which I'm glad it happened last weekend. But my amazing landlord had an AC person out within an hour.
Wow.
And had it fixed. And they're coming tomorrow to fix the minor water damage. But luckily it didn't damage any fabric or quilts or anything like that. So that was good.
Yeah, that's very good. And then when's the official opening?
Saturday, October 5th.
That's exciting. And then we're supposed to come the following week, I think, right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to make a plan for JustWannaQuilt to come on, I think, a Friday. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Friday. So we gotta get this up and get it organized. But I know everybody's excited, and we'll come in Friday morning. So tell me your address in case people are interested in coming by.
Yes. It's 112 East 2nd Street, and that is in Long Beach, Mississippi.
And that's how far from New Orleans?
Hour and 15 minutes. My parents live in Kenner. I can leave my house, which is 5 minutes from the shop, and be at their house in an hour and 15 minutes.
Awesome. Are you getting any sleep at this point, or is sleep not existent?
Not a lot. I may take a little nap from, 9 to 11, 12, and then I'm up sewing again.
Now, will you guys have a long arm or anything like that in the shop? That's such a huge amount of space that it seems impossible.
It's too much space. I don't have the space for it. There's a couple of long armors here in Long Beach, so
it's not needed.
So, I'd refer people to them.
Awesome. Well, insanely great. I am so very excited. I cannot wait to see it. It's so fun to follow your progress. And will you come back and keep talking to us about sort of what you learn and how things go? I feel like we're learning through you about all this stuff.
Absolutely, about my mistakes and everything,
What solids did you go with?
I have Bella solids, and also, what was the other ones? Man.
Was it
maybe some of the Free Spirit
was it hard to choose the solids? You're no, I had to choose a lot of other things. That was not a big deal. we really want to get a set of solids so that we have it for a variety of reasons, because we do a lot of different things. And I'm I'm like, I like this one. No, I like this one. No, I like this one. And I think like choosing the colors and choosing the company is really, that's a lot.
Well, and I think that's kind of why I didn't just go with one single, like I have a couple of different ones. Most of them are Bella, but there's just different color variations for every one. And so, then when I was ordering fabric, sometimes too, like it made sense to order that company's solid because it went with
the colors, right? That
colors.
Makes sense. Did you see a big price differential between fabric companies? No, they're all the same. Yeah, you just choose what you want. I mean, 10, 15 cents difference, maybe. It's not a big difference. No. And did you see that the ones that are like the designer ones, are they more expensive? The capes and the tulas and things like that.
No, the ones that are more expensive are the digitally printed ones.
Really? That's weird. I'm not like super fan of those yet. I mean, I have to say.
Yeah. That's the ones that are more expensive generally, because I think it's the process that they use.
Yeah, right.
And then also I ordered from, which they're the most gorgeous fabrics. It's called Stich.
Oh, yeah. I know those. Yeah. They're really pretty. Right. Yeah, they're gorgeous. So we've used one of those.
They're more expensive. They're more expensive because what they do is they roll the cost of the coming from France, and then all those things that go with international shipping. Yeah, they just roll that into the price of the fabric.
So it's more expensive. That's interesting.
Yes, but their fabrics are gorgeous.
And very, very cool. Well. Yeah. I'm really proud of you. It's so cool. And you're like, you didn't wait. You like did it now. So you could have the shop for like decades if you wanted to,
Yeah, maybe. Or exactly. Like, I mean, I'm 36. And so, I have a lot of time to grow, and
it's really cool. And do you think like, because a lot of times people are waiting until they're retired or something else. And I think like what's cool about your shop is you worked in a shop, you got experience in the shop, and then you did it so young that it's really cool. I think it's very cool.
Yeah, I think that's an advantage for me that I'm not older doing this, because I have more time to grow and to learn. And also just then I can maybe retire, instead of just starting when I'm,
when you are retired. Right. Yeah. It's a funny thing.
I started at 50, 55.
Yes.
That would still, I think it shortens the time. And I think I probably have more energy. And
you have a ridiculous amount of energy. So I can't wait to see what you do about social media, because I know you love that. I can't wait to see what you do. When you get up and running, I'd love you to come back and talk about your social media strategy and thinking about a new shop and how to get your name out. I think it's awesome.
It's been a lot of fun, and today that's what I've been working on, sorting gift bags for my grand opening. So I'll have some fun prizes, and we'll pull names and all that fun stuff. So there'll be nice little goodie bags.
Nice, very nice.
And t-shirts.
T-shirts are good. We like t-shirts. Where did you get t-shirts made?
We have a friend that has a screen printing business in Laurel, Mississippi.
Nice, and that's really nice.
Yeah, so he did all my shirts for me, and it's just my logo, but they're a multitude of colors.
That's nice.
So, I'm just giving those away, on the grand opening day. So,
that's really great. I want a shirt. I will wear your shirt. Send me a shirt. I would keep one. I would love it. Yeah, they're great.
Let's see it. Here we go.
Oh, that's so cool. I love it. Love it.
I know.
So great.
It's fun.
So great. Well, you're amazing and fantastic. And so, I really just love you. I love your energy. I love your positivity. And I can't wait to see your shop. So it's really fun to sort of see you do this. I'm just really psyched.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I can't wait. This week, so the fabric's all out, and so this week it's getting patterns and notions and all that fun stuff out, and Hopefully everybody likes what I've chosen. Most of the notions and stuff I picked were things that I prefer to use.
Yeah, that's great. That's really important, actually. The curating of notions is really great. Do you have, okay, this is a personal question. Do you have a particular needle you like for hand sewing? Like, which one did you choose?
Yes. So it's a Japanese needle.
Tulip?
Yep.
Yeah, which size do you like?
So I am using for binding, I use the size, I think it's 9. It's a PC needle. Size 9.
And is it small or big? Like, is it long?
It's the perfect size. It's got a little bit of bend to it. And also and they're more expensive applique pens. I know a lot of people that do applique. They have, to me, the best applique pens. They're more expensive than if you buy the, I forget the brand, but Clover or Dritz or whatever. Those are really short and really fat. These are very thin and they're just the right length. And I feel, to me, they're so much better for applique pens than those other ones.
Really cool. Awesome. Well, we have to talk more about stuff.
Just from trial and error, and I will carry Aurifil thread.
Yeah.
Because
you like that one, because that's the one you like the best.
That's what I like the best.
You carry the block lock? Did you guys decide to carry block lock?
I have some block locks. Yes,
you introduced those to me.
Lock.
I know you do, because we interviewed them because of you. Because you were like, you have to have this. I have to just come to you of like, okay, what else do I need, Rachel? Like Rachel's list. That's what you should have in your newsletter of like Rachel's list, like what the must-haves of your sewing shop. Because I swear, I totally trust you on stuff. People would they'd be on your newsletter thing, even if they weren't in town. You know.
Yeah, so the tulip needles are my favorite for everything. I use them for applique. I use them for piecing.
Yeah.
I use them for hand sewing.
No, will you carry wool? Did you decide to carry wool?
Not
That's
yet.
That's like the whole thing, right? It's just so much.
It's so much, and it's expensive. And there's just
not a lot. It's still kind of people do it, but it isn't like, even like when you see a wool stuff, they don't have that much. I mean, it's weird. So
and then you have to carry the heavier threads.
Yeah,
to
all
go
of
with
that.
the wool.
It just comes. It's like a whole thing. And what about EPP? Do you have paper pieces stuff and that stuff? Do you think?
I don't right now. I know that's huge right now, but I think it's like.
I mean, it's good. I mean, I do it every night, so I'm not saying because I like doing it in front of the TV.
There's so many sizes and shapes.
I know. You know what I'm really into right now is they have, because I'm kind of bored with the just hexies, is they have all these different flowers. So they have like these little flower packs that like you can make. I haven't figured out what to do with them exactly. I just keep making flowers, but they come in like all these sizes, and it feels so like, like accomplish something. I can make a flower in like pretty short order. So I just keep making flowers. And they're like weird because they like have some that are curved and some that are like Dresden flowers, and like they're all these different kind of flowers. So that's what I'm way into right now. And I don't know. What about block of the month clubs and sew along?
Yes.
Do you think you're going to do that?
Yes. So starting in January, I will have a mystery quilt block of the month that is starting. The fabric will be here in November, but I've actually seen the quilt. I saw it at market.
Yeah.
It is really great. I was very pleased with it.
So you went with a particular designer and the whole, like, did you?
Yes, and I can't think of her name right now, but every year she does a mystery quilt.
Got it.
And so, and it's Moda Fabrics. And so there was 2 lines. I think one was the Zen Chic, and then the other one, which is the one I went with, were the 2 options for the mystery.
And then, yeah, go ahead.
And then in March, I will have a block of the month that is starting, and it is Wilmington Fabrics.
Yeah.
And it's a red and a cream and a pink. I was looking at it. I have a sign hanging up my refrigerator, and I was looking at it. And it's an 84-inch square quilt.
Wow, that's big.
And it's 8 months.
Wow.
And so I think it's really cool. So, and hopefully I'll have it made by about January to hang for people to see.
Very cool. Love it. Yeah. What else was I gonna? So financial stuff, like where do you think you're going to make your money? Will it be on will it be little bits everywhere, or as like, or sort of where when you do the business plan, like obviously blocks of the month and mystery quilts bring in people that's good, and they brings them into the shop again and again, like all those sorts of things. And yes. I know you're very clever on this stuff, so I'm curious, like, is the goal to have traffic and figure out ways to get traffic in, or classes, or sort of how do you make money?
I think that it's
because this is a problem with shops, right? That's the biggest problem, like because your inventory is so much, and you'd have to have enough people buying fabric, like to keep the fabric going out.
And keep fabric coming in.
Right, and having traffic. So you have to have these different strategies for keeping people coming back to the shop. And I imagine you don't have to give away your secrets, but I'm saying like that's your strategy, I would imagine, is you have to – will you do online sales, do you think?
Not yet, because since it's just me, I think it's too much. But like if you see something like I post on Instagram, Facebook, and you call me and say, hey –
like that. Okay, cool. I will be doing that, Rachel. I'll be like, hey, I need that. So that's very funny.
So I'll gladly do that, you know. But I definitely think, you know, having groups, you know, get groups set up.
Groups,
you know,
and smaller quilting guilds and things like that. So if you have
sewing days.
Things coming in, sewing days. Yeah. But the idea is to figure out ways to get traffic into the shop, because once people are in the shop, they'll be like, ooh, I want to buy those needles.
Yes.
Newsletters, social media, stuff you can't live without, all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And once things are, you know, calmed down, I'm sure I'll do like probably, you know, Rachel recommends,
totally,
you know, type thing, like little videos and different things like that. And I will be constantly sewing samples and have kits. And so, you know, hopefully, you know, all kinds of new stuff.
When is your shop open? Like, when are you going to get a break from all this? This is a lot. So what days are you open? I'm
going to be open Tuesday through Saturday.
Oh, that's not bad. So you have like a few days.
I'll have Sunday, Monday off.
Yeah.
And then we'll be open from 9:30. Right now the hours they're tentative and, you know, set to change, 9:30 to 4. Mm-hmm. Because I was trying to decide, do you stay open till 5? Well, if you doesn't work for, you know, if somebody works till 5.
Yeah, if somebody works till 5, they're not going to be able to get there anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then you're staying till 6.
Right.
And then that's they have 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know,
so they can come on Saturdays or make an appointment with you or something like that.
Well, and so I'm going to be on Thursdays. I'll stay open till 7.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's good.
Yeah. And on those days, I will always probably try to have some type of class going.
Yeah.
So that way,
staying till 7 makes a difference, you know, that you can like, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, that'll be probably my beginning quilting night. Yeah. Cool. Will be the Thursdays. And then on Saturdays, 9 to 3.
9 to 3. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm a morning person.
You are.
And so I'm like, I want to be here early. And it bothers me that places aren't open at 9.
Yeah.
Like 10 to me is too late.
Yeah. Your day's already going.
By 10. So I was like, you know, 9 and then like 9:30 during the week, you know.
Yeah. That's very cool. Well, I'm super psyched about all this. We're going to make some more plans. Thank you again for sharing your journey with us. I think it's really fascinating, and I'm sure like others are going to feel that way too. And that's it. Anything else to add before we end?
No, just thank you for having me. I'm really enjoying sharing my journey with y'all, and hopefully it's a successful one.
Of course. It's so great. It's so great. Well, you're part of the quilting army, and you're like us, and you're making a shop, and how can we not support you? And you're so like so kind and supportive to people. Will you have like a kindness, like kind to everybody that come to the shop? Because some shops are kind of mean, right?
Right. And that is, I've said all along, my shop is a safe space.
Nice. See, I want to like create stickers that say that like, you're like, you know, like so that people know that it's like a kind shop. Like we're kind and we respect copyright. That would be my sticker. We're super kind and we respect copyright.
I want everyone to feel welcome.
Nice.
No matter who, what.
Everybody's welcome. That's
everyone's
right.
welcome.
That's
and
right.
I want.
So when my kid with whatever color hair comes in, you're gonna treat her and like be cool to her, right? And they're trans kids and all these other.
I had purple hair a month ago. So,
yeah. So exactly. So I mean, and the thing that's so funny about these shops that are kind of mean, like with my kid, she's always she buys like I pay for it, right? But she buys a lot. Like I don't buy very much. Like I'll buy like a sale thing with like 50% off, and I'll buy like a half a yard, right? But she always like comes out with like $200 worth of stuff. So it's like, why are you being mean? You don't know who's going to be the customer that's going to be buying stuff, and you don't know who they're going to become, right? And
I think that's weird. Definitely. I learned that. I'm young, and sometimes, especially in traditional quilt stores, they don't expect me to be a traditional quilter because I am young.
Yeah, they're going to say, they're going to peg you with something and then like whatever. And so even me, when I look normal without purple hair or anything like that, I've had experiences in quilt shops, not locally, but where, people don't treat me because they don't think I know what I'm doing or, what I want. And I am your ideal customer. Before I did this, it was like I came from a double income, no kids. Right. You had all the money.
Household.
You're like, great. You're like, I want to buy that. I'm going to buy it. Right.
Right.
Yes.
That's
and
what
people
I
don't
did.
know. You don't know looking at someone what their budget is and what they can afford. We did this experiment where we would go to shops and see if they spent time with us. Didn't say anything about JustWannaQuilt, just went in as a regular person. Yeah. And they oftentimes only started to talk to us when we would start to look at really expensive machines. And it was like, dude, really? Like, you don't even know. Like, come on. Like, I could, I'm not going to buy, I don't know. It's just like, it's weird. It's weird. It's like, you're here to like.
I want everyone to feel comfortable here, whether, and no matter what your budget is,
Yeah.
I know people live on fixed incomes, and I want you still to feel comfortable to come here and, even if it's just to hang out with your friends while they sew or, if you're a man and you want to come take a class with me, please, I don't care what hair color you have. I don't care your gender or how you identify yourself.
That's great. Well, we can't wait to see it. I really appreciate your time. I know you're super busy, and this is just super great. Hold on while we and you're cool with me posting this?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay, hold on just a second. So you've been listening to Just Wanna Quilt, a research podcast coming out of Tulane University Law School, and I'm Elizabeth Townsend-Garr. If you like this podcast, keep listening. Also, we have a Facebook group. Come join us. We talk about a lot of things. We also have an Instagram account. And of course, most importantly, I really hope you get a chance to quilt today.